Okay, so we're going to try to get everyone back on again. We'll see what happens. Give us a couple minutes. You'll see a pretty Mount Rainier background once I remove myself. I'm just trying to make sure that everyone gets on. So please be patient. We're just getting it back up and going. Apologize for the interruption. Give us a few moments and I'll get Rick back on and everyone else will start joining us and we'll be back. So hang tight. Let me just put this up here. I'm going to do this. There we go. We're starting to see things populated.
Am I on the air?
You are live on the air.
And everyone is watching? Well, welcome to the session. I'm a teacher, not a techie.
And how appropriate that, we go into this and
yeah.
Sorry for the interruption, everyone. Again, we're all new to this. We got 13 out of I think we were at about 22. So I apologize, everyone. We'll start just a tad bit late. Rick, are you on a tight time schedule?
No. I'm ready to go whenever you say so, Robert. So.
Okay. I think if we can just give a couple of about another minute, I think it would be good to. I know people are starting to join and they're getting their emails and that was interesting. Again, we're all learning something new. I definitely see some real benefits and but you know what? I think Rick, I think we're just gonna go ahead and turn it over. I'll send the link out to everyone afterwards. So those that got axed out, then they'll be able to watch it asynchronously and not miss anything. So thank you, Rick. I'm going to throw that over to you.
Okay, well, thank you, Robert. Robert is the wizard behind the curtain pulling all the strings. And so the title of this session is I'm a teacher, not a techie. That's not just the title, that's also a disclaimer. So if things go wrong, it's because I'm a teacher, not a techie along the way. Hey, in some ways it's appropriate that I follow Stephanie because we're going to be talking about videos and making videos that you can use this fall or whenever, even as the students come back, to make your own videos. And when I was asked to do this by Tricia and Robert, it's almost a little bit of a different approach. We will be talking about Screencastify and how to make videos, pre-recorded, asynchronous type videos. In your teaching, but it was also almost approached as an SEL lesson, a way to just let everyone relax a little bit, take a deep breath, that we can do this. I'd mentioned that over the summer, I've taken like 4 different webinar classes and things on distance learning. And one of them had 159 teachers from all over the country. And when in our breakout rooms, we were discussing, and I said, I don't know if it was encouraging or discouraging to hear that 159 teachers from Florida to Kentucky to California we're all feeling the same thing, anxious, not sure what was going on, not sure what their district plans were. And I don't know if it was encouraging to hear everybody's feeling the same thing that I was, or discouraging to hear all these teachers feeling the same thing. So this session is really to let everybody catch their breath. You can do this. If I could do it, you could do it, because I'm a teacher. I'm not a techie. And so our goal today is that you would be able to say, I am comfortable exploring the use of my own video in my teaching. I don't have to do it all the time, but I'm comfortable exploring this. I think this is something I'm willing to try. And so along the way, today in our session, we're going to have a little bit of an introduction of me and how this kind of came to be. And then we're going to be talking about planning a video, about creating a video in Screencastify, and in managing my videos now that I start using them along the way. So Let me just kind of introduce myself first of all. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. I don't know who's going to be watching this on YouTube and so on, but my name is Rick Gillum, and I came to teaching a little bit late. I got an undergrad degree in architecture from UW, first of all, but I have now been teaching for 31 years along the way in fourth grade. And I'm on my third generation of students now. In fact, I'm teaching with some of my former students. A couple of my former students are my colleagues now. And I value them and go to them for help and assistance as they used to come to me. I've been on probably every committee in the school district along the way, been department coordinator, lead teacher for 12 or 15 years along the way. I'm not now, but have been. So I've kind of been around, and as such, I'm like the old man on the team here and been here for a long time. And perhaps because of that, my classroom used technology, but probably not as much as some of the other teachers used it. Remember, I'm a teacher, I'm not a techie. And so, but we did use tech in my classroom. A lot of it was motivated, I must admit, by the Smarter Balance test. Students had to be able to use computers to show their learning. And so it was only right for me to help them use this tool on a computer. So we would use AR and STAR testing in my classroom and get on the computer. We would use the Illuminate quizzes and FastBridge assessments that the district mandated along the way. We used Google Docs for our writing, so the students would type in their documents, turn it in digitally to me so I could see and score and so on. Use Typing Club, so students got some keyboarding skills along the way, IXL, Zern Math. We did some online research. So my students were on Chromebooks, and I did use technology, but I did not have Google Classroom all set up, and I did not use the Kahoots like Katie and others had taught earlier today. And so my classroom was probably one of the least technological prior to all of this that we're experiencing now. And then bang, spring of 2020 hit us all. And so our district decided to go with learning packets and hand out paper assignments and materials and things like that. We could go online, but we're not supposed to do any new learning really along the way. But I could see this coming. I knew we would have to go online at some point. And so I viewed this last spring of 2020 as a safe playground. I viewed it as a time and a place that I could use to explore these things that, quite frankly, I had just not been up to speed along the way. And so I thought it was pretty low stakes. If I got on there and tried this or tried that and it didn't work very well, no serious consequences because I did not have to do any of it at all. And so I used spring of 2020 as a time for me to do a whole lot of professional development and learn along the way. I set up a Google Classroom that I had not used previously. I created explored other programs with Epic and New Zealand and Nearpod. I explored some of those things along the way. So spring of 2020 was a time when I made a shift in my teaching. I thought I wanted to finish our read aloud because when we were interrupted, we were in the middle of a really good book. And I wanted my kids to experience that. And so I thought, I could make a video of myself doing the read aloud, and then they could watch me whenever they wanted to, if they wanted to. And so that's how I started making videos, was to continue our read aloud. Well, I went ahead and used QuickTime Player on my Mac. I have a MacBook Air, and so I just use QuickTime Video because it's already built in there, and I can go click, and I'm making a video. So I started doing that, and then I made a Google form to post in my Google Classroom just as an accountability, because I don't know how you felt, but in the spring, I often felt like I was sending these things out into cyberspace, and I don't know who was even looking at it, or if anyone was even looking at it. And so just as an accountability for each little 10-minute session or whatever I might be reading, I made a little Google form with a couple of questions, no grading, no real consequences if you didn't do it. But this way I could track who might have actually watched the video along the way. And I got, anywhere from 7 to 13 of my students that would respond. So I know they were watching it. I set up Google Meets in my classroom, so we would meet weekly. So I got familiar with that type of recording, because you can record Google Meets and things along the way. And so then I got a little more interested, and quite frankly, I just went on to Google and YouTube, making classroom videos and things like that. And I wanted to support our students who had their learning assignments. And of course, there are lots of questions usually on the math. So I thought, maybe I could make a video for each of the little math assignments and post those online. And so students would have that to refer back to, because it was all review, and they could watch Mr. Gillum doing some of this, and then they'd be more successful or feel more confident doing it on their own. So I hung a sheet up behind me and went online to my QuickTime video player and recorded me kind of talking a little bit, just a talking head like you're watching now, and reminding them of what we kind of learned about this or that, equivalent fractions or place value or whatever. And then I recorded myself on a dot camera and showing them some examples, and I posted those online. So they had some kind of a reference or a resource to go back if they couldn't quite remember, how do you do those equivalent fractions, Mr. Gillum? Oh, you can watch me do it. Well, I did some more research and got a little more sophisticated and thought, oh, I could improve the background. Or I pulled them into iMovie. Again, it's just native here on my Mac. And do a little bit of editing and make some titles and some transitions. And I got a little fancy and played with it some, and posted those and shared them with the rest of my 4th grade team. So that's how I got where I am. We got a lot of positive feedback on those videos from parents saying, thank you. My student now can look back and have some help, even if they can't come into the classroom. I even started getting some requests. Hey, Mr. Gillum, my daughter's having trouble with division. Could you make a video on division? Yeah, sure. I mean, why not? I'll post that. So it was successful. And I shared some of this with Brett and Rachel, principal, assistant principal, and they shared with Tricia Smith. And so I guess I made one too many videos, and now they think I'm the expert. But that's where I came from in spring, and here we are. So for you to get credit, an hour, clock hour for this, of course, we need some accountability. I'm not going to make you make a video. I'm a teacher, not a techie. I'm not going to make you make a video, but I have a quick Google form. There needs to be some accountability. And so the first question on there is for you to pause, take a deep breath, and reflect. I just told you where I'm coming from. Where are you coming from? What did you try last spring that was successful? Or maybe it wasn't. But for us to start, just take a breath and say, okay, here's where I'm coming from, Rick. This is what I'm feeling. Now I have to move forward. So just think for a moment. You can fill it out on the Google form if you want a clock hour for this. Well, like I said, my position has shifted. I've become the online right now. As of today, I'm the online teacher for 4th and 5th grade for the families who choose not to come back in person when that's available. But that has changed several times in the past couple of months. Like I said, I have taken some trainings. These are called promising practices by some of the trainers I've had, because there's not a lot of research on online learning K-12. Almost all the research is higher ed. So these are called promising, maybe not best practices, in that you are probably better off doing these things than not doing these things. And today we're going to be talking about pre-recorded videos. We're not talking about Zoom. We're not talking about Google Meet. Those are live, synchronous with me type of videos. These are pre-recorded, asynchronous. You record them and post them, and kids can watch them at 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning or at midnight on Thursday. That's the kind of video we're talking about here. Well, let's jump into it now. That's a little bit of an introduction, probably more than you want to know. But let's start talking about a video. And the first thing we need to talk about is doing some planning this video. And the first thing to ask yourself perhaps is, should I even create my own video? There are lots of videos out there already. As you've seen some other training with Nearpod, Flipgrid, and so on, Kahoot, there are lots of these resources already created. And there are lots of videos already online that perhaps you could use theirs. You don't have to make your own. There's YouTube, there's SchoolTube, there's Khan Academy, there's BrainPop, there's PBS Learning. There's lots of sites with lots of videos already available. So maybe you don't even have to make your own. That's the first thing to ask yourself. Do I need to make my own video? Maybe you can say, nope, I've got one here. We're set. But maybe you do want to make your own video. And here are the conditions. Maybe you need to make your own video if you cannot easily find suitable material. If you spend 15 minutes looking online and you really can't find what you want, then you cannot easily find suitable material. Maybe I need to make my own. Or maybe you need to make your own if you want to offer a particular perspective on a subject, perhaps in social studies. And I can't find a video that kind of shows it from this angle. Then maybe I need to make one to introduce that perspective on this topic. Maybe you want to make your own little quick video to frame an introduction to other videos or other material. So you come on for a couple of minutes. Hey, kids, we're going to watch 2 videos here. I want you to pay a special attention to this or whatever. Bang, that's your video. And then you send them to other pre-made videos. Or maybe you want to just make your own video simply because you want to build a social presence online. For instance, I can send my students to Khan Academy and watch them do some video or pre-made on equivalent fractions, but they're watching somebody who they don't know, have never seen before, doing this thing from I don't know where. Maybe it would be more powerful if they saw Mr. Gillum making a video from the classroom. They have a little bit more buy-in. Or you just simply want to spend more time, even if it's asynchronously, with them seeing you or hearing your teaching. And so maybe you want to make your own video. There's one out there, but you know what? I want them to see me, for whatever reason, doing it. So first thing to ask yourself is, do I need to make my own video? Maybe, maybe not. And then if you decide, yep, I need to make my own, then we're going to talk about planning the format. There are 4 different formats of these pre-recorded videos along the way. And so I'll just go through these. By the way, this slide presentation is available. Robert has sent a link and whatever. So if you go to the teaching and learning site, you can see all of these slides along the way as well, if you'd like, if they're a help to you. But now I said, okay, I'm going to make my own video. So what format would serve me best? There's the talking head. You're looking at it right now. And it's just you talking into the camera. It's best for explanations. If you want to explain how to do something or talk about a certain topic. And we're not going to get into all the complications, or well, I don't want to call them that. We're trying to alleviate some of the anxiety or stress. But there are things to think about when you're making a video. Think about the background. What are people seeing behind you? Think about the lighting. Of course, you don't want to film in front of a window where you're just a black silhouette or so on. I've got a couple of lights set up here right now. Glasses are a pain because I get either reflection or glare. So think about your lighting. Think about your camera options. Where do you want to film it from? But talking head is one format if you just want to explain something. Screencast. And we're going to talk about that today. This is best for how-to or show and tell type material. Here, watch Mr. Gillum show you how to make this equivalent fraction or something like that. And so they're watching you from your dock camera or from your whiteboard or something like that. And so you're casting your screen. You're recording the screen on your computer, and students can watch that. You can still have your voiceover explanation, and you're talking along the way, but they're seeing you on your screen, not necessarily your head, just talking. Maybe you want to do a chalk and talk, which is very similar to the screencast. It's just a wider view. Maybe you want to show the whole whiteboard for something, or you're taking a series of something like that. So rather than just your head talking, they might see more of you in the shot, and they're going to see more of the whiteboard because you need to show this and that and the other thing. And so it's just called a chalk and talk. Again, think about your lighting. Think about your camera position. What are the kids going to see? Are they going to see glare off the whiteboard? You can do some editing along the way. Even just think about contrasting colors. If you're doing a whiteboard, of course, the light green or the light blue might not show up as much. You probably want to use darker colors. One of the things I did in the spring when I was on my dock camera, I used a flare pen, just a dark marker to write with instead of a pencil. And just that gives you the contrast. So it's easier for students and people to see what you're trying to do and show them. So just think about these things as you go ahead and make your video. And the last format is digital storytelling. Now, this is best for an exploration of a topic. Perhaps say, gee, I wonder what would happen if we did this or this. Let's try something here. And you set up an experiment or whatever it might be. These videos are highly engaging to students. You're telling a little story to illustrate whatever you're trying to teach. But you have to weigh the cost versus the benefits, because they're highly engaging to students. The students love them, and you can get a lot of information across, but it takes a lot of time and effort to make these. It includes some video, maybe some photos, maybe some music. You might need another person in there with you to play this part. It's just a little story, and it's fun, but it takes a lot of time and effort. So you have to weigh, is it worth it or not? Of course, one of the benefits of these videos is once you make one, you have it forever. And so it takes a lot of time and effort, but now I've got it for this year and next year and the next year, and I can use it again. So those are the 4 formats. If you decide to make your video, do I need a talking head? Maybe I'm going to cast my screen. Maybe I need a wider chalk and talk, or maybe I'm going to tell a video story. So I decide on what format serves me best. Again, we're still planning a video. I feel comfortable exploring the use of videos here. And as you plan this video, you need to chunk your material. Stay focused. Again, with some of these classes and things I've taken, students, if people are watching an asynchronous video, it's not live, remember, you never start off with everyone's attention. And after about 2 minutes, they notice a drop in attention. People are not focusing on your video anymore. After about 6 minutes, there's another drop. And after about 12 minutes, you've lost about half your audience. They may still be watching the video, but they're not attending to it. They're not focusing on it. And so you need to chunk your material into tiny pieces, 6 or 7 minutes, 8 minutes or something. Now, that doesn't mean you can't make a longer video. That means maybe after 6 or 7 minutes, stop, have the students do something with what you've said. Hey, now you try and write this down, or hit pause while you go do this or get that or something or other. So you're breaking it into chunks, and look for natural breaking points. You're not going to teach an hour lesson on these videos. I mean, you can, but you're going to lose your effectiveness pretty quickly along the way. And one more thing to do as we plan your video, you need to script your video. Now, that does not mean you need to write out word for word what you're going to say, but you need to have some kind of a script, even just bullet points, to keep you on track. Think through the examples you're going to show. Again, I've learned this the hard way. I did this in the spring before I had taken some of these classes and things. So sometimes I started wandering. And if I had scripted my video, I would have stayed more on task, and it would have been much more effective. So first thing to do is plan a video. Do I even need to make one? Yeah, I've got a reason I'm going to make one. Then what format would work best for me? The talking head or the screencast? Digital storytelling or chalk and talk? Okay, then I need to chunk my material up, and I need to have some kind of a script so I know where I'm going. I'm going to stay on task for this video for the benefit of the students. That's why we're doing all of this. Remember, I'm a teacher, not a techie. The tech does not drive me. The teaching drives me. I'm just using this technology as a tool to teach. Well, let's keep going. Now I'm going to make it, creating a video. And I want to warn you, of course, be prepared for more than one take. I should have saved a lot of my bloopers and made a blooper reel because I had a lot of bloopers. But as you go ahead and make a video, it's okay if you have to do more than one take. I'd be doing something along the way with an example and realize, oh man, this example is not going to take me where I want to go. Okay, boop, hit stop. That's take one. Then we do another one along the way. And our lights in this new building now are on energy savers. And so if there's not a lot of motion, they just turn themselves off. I'm in the middle of talking a video, and of course, I'm just sitting at my desk. Boom, all the lights go off. Okay, it stopped. Let's take two. Let's do another one. And so it's okay if you have to make some retakes. Hey, save your bloopers and put them together for fun as a little something to laugh with the students, maybe. I don't know. Consider some novelty. We are, for lack of a better term, in competition for students' attention. They're on YouTube, they're on the TV, they're seeing all kinds of videos and things these days, and we need to capture their attention. Maybe some of the filters, if you watch the Flipgrid training with Stephanie, there's filters and effects you can do there along the way. Maybe you could do something like that just to keep their attention, not to distract from the learning, but consider some kind of a novelty. And just be yourself. In the spring, my students saw Mr. Gillum just being Mr. Gillum. And one of the things I learned is that the advice is for you to aim for authentic professionalism, not perfection. And maybe you don't need to redo that take. I don't know about you. I won't speak for you. But in my classrooms, my students have seen Mr. Gillum make a mistake. Mr. Gillum, 9 minus 7 is 2, not 3. You're right. Okay, thank you. Mr. Gillum, you said this word, and I think you meant something else. You're right. You're right. So if you do that in a video, that doesn't mean you need to stop and start all over. It's authentic professionalism. We're human beings. You're right. I said the wrong word. Let's start from here. It doesn't have to be perfect for it to be useful. In fact, perhaps things like that might form a bit more of a connection with your students. Oh, Mr. Gillum is just being Mr. Gillum. Well, let's create a video. I'm going to get out of this slideshow here, and we're going to talk a little bit about Screencastify. That is the video recording program, extension, I guess, here, that the district has paid for. So we have the paid version with all the extras that come with that. And so I'm going to show you how to use that along the way. Screencastify has been pushed out to all of our teacher Chromebook or teacher computers, as I understand. And right up here in the corner, if you see my cursor going there, there's like a pink arrow. It has a little tiny video camera in it. And of course, if you hover, it'll tell you that's Screencastify. So if you go to any old, open up your Chrome browser there or whatever, and click on Screencastify. And again, like we saw in one of the earlier sessions, this is a little slower because we're going through StreamYard. But if you click there, bang, this window pops up. So I'm going to walk you through. We're going to create a couple of videos. And remember, you don't have to create your own video to get your clock hour. I am a teacher. I understand all the pressures and time crunches you're under right now. You've got a quick little 3-question Google form for the accountability to get a clock hour. But I'm going to show you how to make these. And so if you click on Screencastify, boom, you automatically have 3 choices. You click on this one, you can record the browser tab. And that means it's just going to record that one open window, that one open tab. And I'm going to show you what's on there. You're not going to see anything else that's on my desktop, unless I want you to. And then you can click on desktop and it will show, that's what you're seeing now, the entire desktop, all my open tabs, whatever else I might have on my desktop. So you must think, well, do I want the kids to see those things or not? And of course, you can click on webcam, and that's going to be recording you. It's going to use your built-in camera, whatever you've got in your computer, or another webcam if you have one of your own. So you have your choice. What do you want to show your kids? How am I going to use this technology as a tool? I'm a teacher. I'm not a techie. Well, let's look at some of these choices. Once you decide what you're going to record, you have choices. You can choose which microphone you want to use. Now you click here. I'm just using the default built-in microphone on my computer. But if you have another microphone, you could click on it. Perhaps you want to have one that's wired directly in, you plug it in, it's a better one or whatever. You can choose which microphone are you going to be using? That one. Okay. Then you can go to your webcam. Again, I'm just using the built-in webcam. Bang. So I'm looking right here at the green light on my MacBook and recording. But if you have another webcam, and you'd rather use it, you could do that. And I'll show you how to choose a dock camera as your camera. So you get to pick those. You can set your countdown to 3 seconds, 5 seconds, or 10 seconds. So when you start making your video, it'll count down 3, 2, 1, bing, you're live on the air. And so you can set that time. Oh, let me open it back up again. I'm a teacher, not a techie. Desktop, show more options. And you can also have them show drawing tools. And I will show you how to use some of these as well if you want to. So if we set those up, okay, I'm going to record my desktop, got my mic, got my camera, I'm going to count down. Okay, ready, set, hit record. And I'm going to make a recording right now in Screencastify. Okay, I said I was going to share the screen. I'm going to share this one. Yep. Go ahead and share it. There's my countdown. Bing. I'm now recording this. And it's easy as that. So I'm comfortable exploring the use of the video in my teaching, Rick. Really like 1, 2, 3 clicks and I'm recording. It's that easy. And you can see me down in the corner down there, picture in a picture. Boom. Now, let's talk about some of these things. You've got a picture in a picture here. And so the students can see you as you share the screen and how to do this and that and whatever. And so I can move this picture in a picture if it's in the way and I want it over here or over there. You just grab it and hold on to it and move it around. You can resize it if you would like. Say, I want you to see more of me or whatever it might be. Okay, that's cool. I've heard some discussion about using picture in a picture. I've heard some people say it's kind of a distraction. The students are watching you instead of what you're doing on screen. And so maybe you don't want to use picture in a picture. On the other hand, I've heard people say, it gives you more of the online presence. Kids know this is Mr. Gillum sharing this. It's not some disembodied voice somewhere. So maybe it's a positive. You have to decide that as the teacher. If you decide, I don't think I want to be in there, you can click on the X. Boop, okay, you're gone. It will just record your desktop. Or if you want to come back, look over here in this corner, lower left, you have some tools. And I can click here, embed webcam, POW. Okay, I'm back on the air. So you can choose picture in a picture. Hey, let me show you some of the other tools. Remember we said that you could show the drawing tools here. And so if you look in the lower left, you can pause the recording. If you think, I forgot to grab something or other, you can hit pause, go do it, and then come back and hit play again, and it'll record. You have your cursor here, your mouse pointer, and you can see me moving it around on the screen. But you can do other things with it. If you click on that and go here to focus mouse, that's cool. And so I could use this as a spotlight and tell the students, now, I want you to look right here, see where the spotlight is. You're going to click on whatever. So you can use that tool if it's helpful. Or, no, I don't want to use that one. I want to highlight my click, so I can click there. And then when I'm over here, every time I hit click, well, let me make sure I have selected it. Boom, boom. Now, every time I hit click, see how it lights up that red, boom. So the students can see, look, I'm clicking right here, right there, it kind of highlights. Or you could even hide your mouse if you don't want them to see the arrow at all. It's whatever is useful for you. Come down here to the pen. Well, I think you could probably figure out what that's for. You can write on your recording, choose any old color, whatever. Okay, we'll do red. And then boom, you can write whatever you want to on your recording. And it will show up on your recording. Or you could use it to highlight something. Hey, I want you to look down here in this corner, whatever. And so you can write and change the colors. You cannot change the size. You have some limited options. And if you're done with all that, hit here with the eraser and you can beep, erase the whole screen, or you could just erase part of it if you wanted to do that along the way. This next icon is to embed the camera. I showed you how to do that for your picture in a picture if you want to do that. And of course, you click this and it'll hide that whole toolbar. You won't see them if you don't want to use them or they're in the way or whatever. So you just made a video. I just made this video along the way. I'm going to end it now. So I'm going to come down here, pause, and then end recording, click. And now it'll process it. See loading, yeah, there it goes, boom, 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 bang. That's the recording I just made. You can see me down in the corner there, and you'll watch me move that around, and I'm watching the video that I just made with you. Well, I'm going to hit pause for a moment to show you a couple other things. Over on the right-hand side, there is a bar over here, a sidebar. I'm going to show you how to share those things along the way and how to trim your video and things like that. But I just made, up here in the top, excuse me, it's untitled. We're going to talk about naming your videos when we talk about managing videos. And so you just made a video. And so I hope, again, that this alleviates some of the angst or stress. I don't even know how to make a video in Screencastify. It's like 3 clicks. Open Screencastify, click webcam, click record, bang, you're making a video. It really is that easy. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's authentic professionalism. And I'm trying to connect with students and, of course, teach using this tool. Well, I'm going to get out of this one. I'm not going to save this. I don't want to do anything with it. I'm going to make another recording. So I'm just going to X that out. Boom, we're done. Back to here. Now, I'm going to show you that you can also record using a dock camera. And when I did my math videos, I would record a talking head like I just did, like you're watching here, to remind them of the concept. And then I would switch over to my dock camera to have them watch me actually do some math problems as examples. So I'm going to, once again, open Screencastify up in the corner. This time I'm going to record with my webcam. And I just like to see all the options. Microphone is still the default built in. That's cool. But this time the camera is not going to be my built-in FaceTime camera. It's up here. I have plugged my document camera into my computer. Now, Robert, I think you wanted to jump in here and talk a little bit about what teachers may or may not have available for them to plug in their dock cameras. Mr. Lucas.
Yes, so great job so far, and a lot of people are liking your style. You're making it fun and very applicable. So
a little bit of SEL here. Everybody, we take a deep breath. We can do this.
Yeah. So before I hit the document camera, a couple questions on the actually getting the extension. There's a gray, Rick, could you point to that gray puzzle piece right to the right
here?
Your Screencastify icon?
Oh, right here.
Yep. If you click on that.
You want me to click on it, Robert?
Yes, please. It shows some extensions, and Screencastify is going to be there. It's not pinned. So click on that blue pin, click on the gray pin, and it will pin it up there, and then you'll be able to always have it. So you're pinning that extension to the extension bar. So go ahead and click on that, Rick.
Boom.
And there it is again.
It's up
so
there.
That's what we're seeing. A couple people are seeing that they don't have it. It's just not there pinned. So
hey, Robert, can I ask you a question as well?
Sure.
I'm a teacher, not a techie. Is it true I cannot add extensions myself? That has to go through the district. Is that true? It's managed by the district?
It's managed by the district. There are some extensions that are already approved. If you find an extension that you want to use, email Casey or myself, and we'll get that approved. We'll put it on the whitelist. The reason for that is in the past, there have been a lot of extensions that have been hijacked, extensions and add-ons and that have been hijacked and then become malware and keystroke. So it's just stuff that we want to vet through Google. And so it just keeps our network and yourself very, very secure.
I just was looking for some, and I went to add it, and it said it was managed by the district. I could not add it. So that's fine. I just wanted to clarify.
Yep, that's exactly right.
What about dock cameras?
Okay, so document cameras. So at Lintott and Smith, you should be able to plug the document camera directly into your computer and it be a plug and play. It needs to be plugged in through the USB cable. Casey has ordered a bunch of those. So if you have questions about it and you want to connect up, let Casey and or I know. Actually put a ticket in, and then that way we can hit as many people as we can. If you're at the middle school or high school, you probably have an older document camera. It's a different USB cable, and there is some software that we need to actually need to download and install. It's actually from Aver Media, and it's called Sphere. So if you feel good about downloading Sphere, SPHERE, then feel free to do that. Again, it would be you want to connect up to the computer via USB, not through the HDMI. It won't see it like it does through the USB. So again, put a ticket in and we'll take care of you.
Hey, Robert, I'll put in another plug as well. This spring, when I was playing and exploring things, free exploration, as educators call it. Hey, I did download Sphere and played with some of that as well. And it was pretty cool. You could do a lot of things with that program. And so, if that's what they have to do, again, don't let that concern you or raise any kind of a stress level. You could probably figure out, again, if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. Because I was the old man, the least techie, probably.
It's called Tinker Time. And everyone should be given Tinker Time.
Absolutely. Students and adults. Thank you, Robert. So what I've done, again, I've got one of the newer ones in the new building. And so I've just plugged my camera, my dock camera, into my computer. So when I go up here and open Screencastify, and I want to record from my webcam now, but when I come down to the camera option, I'm going to not select my built-in. I'm going to select my Aver USB camera number 2. That's my dock camera, the model, the name of it. There you go. That's the one I want. And I've still got 5 seconds. So if I hit record, see, it's that easy. Open Screencastify, webcam, hit record, bang. You're in. You're making your first video. You're a YouTube star. So off you go. By the way, as we're waiting for the countdown here, did you know that you have a YouTube channel? I was told by Robert that every teacher who has a Chehalis School District email has their own YouTube channel as well. So you can all be YouTube stars, I guess. At any rate, if you look here, you will see now on screen, I am recording from my dock camera. And so I would use this to show the students, okay, here's how you do your examples. And I would write out whatever, and boom, boom, and they could watch me to show this or that or whatever I want to. It's on your dock camera, so you can still zoom in if you zoom out, zoom in, whatever you need to do with it. Excuse me, on screen, I can say I'm not on camera, but I'm over here on the side showing you these things. So you could use this to show examples. You could use this to show how to put this and that together. If you watch Mr. Gillum and put this, here's a right angle, there's whatever would help to serve your purposes, to get across your learning and your teaching, of course, along the way. And so I can record me with the webcam, or I can record my dock camera to show the students whatever I need to show them during this lesson. And bang, I just recorded all of that. I'm recording now. If you look at the bottom down here, excuse me, you've got pause. You can see that I've been recording for 1 minute and 27, 28, 29 seconds. Off we go, and I can stop at any time. Well, for our purposes, we are done. Stop. Then it will process that video. Hey, there it is. Recorded August, I'm looking at the top, recorded August 17th, 10:57 a.m. Boom, boom. That's the recording. If you watch it, that'll move, and I'll be writing. That's what I just recorded. Well, when you have it, I'm going to stop it just because that's going to keep moving along the way. So hit pause. When you get your video done, it's going to pop up like this. And as I mentioned earlier, over here on the sidebar, you can share this video right away. I mean, right now, if that's good enough, I want them to see it right now. And so you can look over here and you have lots and lots of options and lots of ways to share your video, whatever works for you. You can copy a link and post it somewhere else if you want to. You can share it right directly to your classroom. Click on there, share to classroom, boom, it'll pop up. Select which classroom you want to post it on. You can publish it to YouTube. As I said, I've been told we have YouTube channels if you'd like. You can get an embedded code if you want to. You can even go down here and generate a QR code so the students can just beep on that code and it'll take them right to your video you just made. Send it in their email so they can answer that. Oh, click, there's Mr. Gillum showing me that 2 + 3 = 5 or whatever it may be. You can download it, which is what I do, because again, I'm a teacher, not a techie. I'm the old man. I like to save things on my desktop and then I can put them where I want them to be. But that's just me because I'm the old man. So you have lots of options, different ways to share this video, whatever works for you and your students. If you look down here as well, you see this pair of scissors down here. If you hover them, it tells you you can trim your video. If you went to end it or you forgot to hit stop, and so you have 10 seconds of silence at the end of it or whatever, you can trim your video and cut off this piece or cut off that piece along the way. So this trims it at the beginning or the end. There are other ways to cut your video, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Well, if you look up here at the tip top, there's a button called Open in Editor. And so Screencastify allows you to edit your video. Now, they're pretty limited edits, actually. I made some videos in iMovie, and that has a lot more options for you. But Screencastify is the district's management system, learning management system for videos. And so what happens if I click up here, Rick? Hey, if you click up here and open your video in Editor, it's going to fire up. Sign in, and it says that you are ready to make some magic with your video. Yeah, sure, Rick. What's that mean? Well, here's how it looks. There's your video in editor view. And you can, of course, hit play, and it'll play the whole video through. It's 1 minute and 36 seconds and so on. Down here is your video. And if you move your bar through, you can see, yeah, there's that part, and there's that part, and there's that clip, and there's that clip, and whatever. If you come over here to this view, you can expand. If you watch the bottom of the screen, you can expand the clip so that you can get much more detailed in your editing. If you make a very short video, you might see just one little slice of video. If you extend it over here, open it up, it spreads it out, so you can go in and say, I want to make a cut right there, if you want to be that precise. Well, click on your video down there. Okay, I want to work with this video. Tell the computer, I want to work with this video. Okay, what do you want to do, Rick? Well, these scissors up here is where you can cut the video. And again, you can move this bar. Where do you want to move it? Over here, over here. No, I want to cut it. I want to cut it right wherever. Bang, right there. And when you hit cut, you are cutting that video apart. Now, instead of one video, I have two videos, this little piece and this piece, but they are now separate videos. It's interesting how we still use the same vocabulary with film. Of course, there's no film involved here. With reels, there is no reel here. Or tape, I'm going to tape this. There is no tape involved. It's all digital, but we still use those words. So this is where you're going to cut the film. And now I have two pieces of film that I can rearrange. I want to put this piece in front, that piece in the back, or whatever. So once you have your cut there, bang, you can slice it into two different videos and rearrange them or get rid of one or whatever you want to do. Now, this tool is crop. And again, I'm going through these quickly because this is not how to do everything in Screencastify. This is simply to get you comfortable with exploring the use of a video. Remember, our objective is not to become a master in Screencastify. It is to say, I'm comfortable exploring this use in my teaching. If you hit crop, bang, it's just like on photographs, and you can come up here now and crop your video. I just want them to see this part. I want to get rid of that background. And so if you say, that's where I want to crop it, click on done, boom, it's like zooms in, shows just that piece. Now it will be that way through the rest of the video. So make sure that's what you want to do for real. And if you click down here on add text, it, guess what? Adds text. And so click on that thing, boom, and you've got a bar here, like a little text box. And you can write whatever you want to. Hey, look at this. And you have limited options, but you do have options. You can highlight and say, okay, Mr. Computer, I want you to bold that thing. Okay, Mr. Computer, I want you to underline that thing. Okay, Mr. Computer, I want you to make that a bright red color, or I can make the background or whatever. You have some options with font, not many, but you have some. You can have some option with font size. I'm going to make mine huge. You can move your text. It's left justified right now. I could center it in the picture, or I could move it to the right, whatever suits my purposes. And I can move it on the picture, on the video. I can have it in the center. No, I want it up at the top. No, I think I need it better at the bottom. No, maybe at the bottom over here on the right-hand side. Yeah, okay, that's what I want. Okay, bang, click out of there. There it is. And if you look down at the bottom, here's my text, and I can move it wherever I want. I want it to come right in at this clip right there is where I want them to look. And I can keep it on there. Whoops. If you grab it correctly, I can make it longer. I want it to stay on screen all the way through to there. Bang. And so if I go back here now and play the recording, YouTube channel, I was told by Robert that every teacher
Bang,
who
there's my
has,
text. It just came
Chehalis
on.
School district email,
And it will
has their own
stay
YouTube
on
channel
if you
as
look
well.
down
So we
here.
can all be YouTube stars,
Till
I
I
guess.
get to the end. And
At
it'll
any rate,
disappear.
if you look here, you will see now on screen,
Bang,
I
off
am
screen.
recording from my dock camera.
All done. So you have some limited options, but you do have options. And you can add some text. You can crop it down. You can cut pieces out. You can trim it if you have something at the beginning or end you don't really need the students to see. So you can edit your video if you think it needs it, if it will help your teaching. Well, let's keep going. I know you've been on here a long time. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this video. There is no need to save it. So I'm just going to exit out and be done with it. Now, I again want to reassure, let me do this. I want to reassure you that there is help available. And I don't mean in the form of Rick necessarily, although I'm glad to share any of this that I can with you. But if you open up Screencastify again, and if you look in the upper left-hand corner, you see these three bars. If you click on them, you can see all of your recordings that you may have made. You have some options, very limited options along the way here. As again, they open up slowly. Where do you want to save your videos? On Google Drive or another device? You want to get notifications from them. You want to set up some shortcuts or whatever you might want to do. But I want to show you a source of help and assistance because we want you to be, remember the goal, comfortable exploring the use of my own videos in my teaching. So if you go down here to classroom resources, open that up, and you have lots of classroom resources. If you look here, and this is all from Screencastify, so you can look here, bang, they have a beginner's guide to Screencastify. And you can read that whole guide to find out this and that and things that Rick just didn't have time to share with you. Master the screencast. How can I do that? Here's some really cool things here. This one are 50 ways to use Screencastify in the classroom. It's like a little ebook. You can download that, bang. Oh, I could use it to do this. I never thought of doing that. Or if you come down, here's one, 25 ways to use Screencastify with Google Apps. Oh, I could use that in this app and whatever else. So you have lots of help along the way. Here are some webinars they have made that you can watch. Shortcuts, Master the Screencast, Junior, and this is where maybe you could have your students use this. Now, I know you've had Flipgrid training with Stephanie, and some of you may have used that, but Screencastify can do some of that as well. And then down here, of course, you can see all these webinar assistance, things that you can click on if you need help. They also, of course, have, as most programs do, a help window that you can type in your topic and it will find help for you. But you know what? I must be honest. The way I learned all of this, I had no screencast training. The way I learned it, Google it and YouTube it. And if you do that, there are a multitude of resources available online. I Googled in classroom video, how to make a video, how to use Screencastify, and especially from March 2020 forward, there are hundreds of YouTube videos, hundreds of articles, because all of us teachers found ourselves in the same position. I need assistance. I don't know how to do this. Well, guess what? Google it, YouTube it. You will find more help than might be helpful, if I can say it that way. Well, I'm going to get out of here if I can and go back to my slides. By the way, all of this information is in the slideshow. It won't be a video, but I did go through and show how do I get the help, how do I do this and that sort of thing. But again, starting to wrap up a little bit here. Let's go back. Our goal was, I am comfortable exploring the use of my own video in my teaching. Well, on the Google form to get your clock hour if you want to, and just another time to reflect. So could you share one Screencastify tool that seems particularly useful to you? And you would type that into the Google form, but you can think about it right now. Yeah, I like how I can trim stuff because if I make a mistake, I can cut it out. Or, yeah, I like how I can add text because maybe I could use that to highlight something. Or, yeah, I like how I can highlight the mouse and my cursor because then I can focus the student's attention on the one piece I want them to see. Or I like how I don't have to have my picture in a picture if I don't want it because I'm still kind of nervous on video. Just a time to reflect. We started with, where are you coming from? I'm a little nervous, Rick. Well, okay. Is there a tool in here maybe that alleviates some of that? Yeah, I can trim that out if I blow it. Well, let's keep going. We planned a video. I made a video. Let's talk about managing your videos. Because once you start making them, I mean, I made 33 videos, I think, this spring with my read alouds and with my math helps. So now how am I going to manage those? Well, think about how you're going to name your videos. I showed you earlier, it comes up like a Google Doc. It's an untitled video. Well, go up there and give it a title. And you can name it whatever you want to, or you can leave it untitled, I guess, if you'd like. But in order to manage these, how am I going to name them? I think I'm going to put the subject, or I'm going to call it math, fourth period, fall quarter, whatever works for you. But maybe I need to think about that for a moment. What kind of a naming system am I going to use? And then decide, how are my students going to access my videos? Am I going to post them all in Google Classroom, so there's one-stop shopping along the way? Or am I going to send them emails? Am I going to post them regularly? When I did my read alouds in the spring, I would release a new one every Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning. Or are you just going to post them whenever you think they're helpful? I don't know. It's up to you. But maybe think about it. Where will you store your videos? On your Google Drive? Are you going to store them on your device, on your laptop, on a thumb? I don't know, wherever. But now that I've got a video, where am I going to put it?
so that I can access it again. And finally, how will you organize your videos? I made some folders. So I have, here's my read aloud. Inside that, I've got another folder for the K. And then I've got all my videos in there. Whatever it might be, you have lots of ways on your Google Drive. Use color, by topic, by subject matter, or something like that. Whatever works for you. But these are things to think about before you jump in. Make yourself comfortable exploring the use of this technological tool. How am I going to name them? How are my kids going to get them? Where am I going to store them? And how am I going to keep them organized so I can go back and find that one that I want to show? So now you know how to plan to make a video. Now you know how to create one using Screencastify. Really just 3 clicks and you've made a video. And how am I going to manage them now that I have a new teaching tool to use? Well, let's finish it up. Remember our goal. I am comfortable exploring the use of my own video in my teaching. And we've gone through all the planning, the creating, the managing, and things like that. So finally, how comfortable are you about exploring the use of your own video in your teaching? And if you want the clock hour again, go back to the Google form. There's a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, yep, I'm ready to go. I've made some videos and I feel fine. 1, I don't know about it. Maybe I'm going to try one and not show anybody else. Whatever is fine. We're all moving along this spectrum. But I'm not going to make you make your own video. You are busy enough. You can do 3 quick little questions here, a little bit of reflection along the way. And I hope have another tool available to you. And if I could do it, one of the least tech teachers, I'm a teacher, not a techie. I want to assure you that you can too. And you don't have to make a video every day for every lesson. But I hope you're comfortable now thinking, you know, maybe I could explore this. I think I could do this. If Rick could do it after this many years, the old man in the classroom, I bet you guys could do it probably even better. Robert, that's all I have to share. I hope some of it was useful.
That is a wealth of information. I love I'm a teacher, not a techie. And, you know, I think that's something that all of us can be reminded of, that we're all really teachers, not techies. But we can get through it. And it's there and we all have support. So thank you so much for that. A couple things to follow up on what Rick was talking about. One of the questions had through an email was about lights and mics and things. If you want to explore the option of alternate lighting, fluorescent lighting, like what I'm sitting under right now, is not a real good place to record. Rick has a light in front of him that helps with shining, making his face actually stand out more than even what mine is.
Twisting off my bald head there.
Yeah, well, you know, we'll just have that glare war. Just shoot me an email and we can talk about that. If you noticed when Rick was working in the document camera, he was, you know, away from the computer a little bit. And so his voice did slightly go down in volume. So having just a cheap lapel mic, you can get them on Amazon for $12, $15, and plugging that in, you can move all over, and that volume is right there with you. So just an idea of that. A question was about saving the videos. Know that in Screencastify, when you stop a video, it automatically saves it in your Google Drive. So it will still be there. And so you can still download it if you'd like. And I would watch when you download, because if you keep saving and keep saving and keep saving all of your videos are rather large. They can fill up your computer. And I have seen, and Casey and his team have had to help some teachers where it just got too full. And so the the computer started acting up, and so they needed to remove some items in order to get that space back. So
that's probably not, that's not the best option. It is an option. If I put them on mine, then I end up moving them somewhere else. But
no, it's and I do the same thing. I will download a video that I've done to manipulate it or put it in a certain place. But I
move it.
I just make a practice of, it's on my desktop, I know I got to delete it, rather than putting it somewhere in a folder or whatever. But just a little bit of practices. So questions are, what light would you recommend? Actually, Rick, you have that ring light, correct?
Hey, I have a ring light on a little tripod. I went to Walmart. I got it for like $20, I think. It's no big deal. I also have another light over here. Again, with glasses, I'm constantly battling glare and reflection. And so I have another light up here as well. I just went to Home Depot. It has one of those aluminum shells that, with lights, like a spotlight, work light type thing with a plain old bulb screwed into it, and put that up there. You can, again, the only way I learned all this was, hey, I Googled it and went on YouTube, and I looked about lighting videos and things like that. And it can get very sophisticated quickly, but really my lights are very simple. But I'm always fooling with them because I know it's a big deal. And we've all seen videos where the lighting is terrible and all you see is a dark outline of somebody or things like that. So I'm trying to make it as best I can without spending, well, I haven't spent much money at all, but much time either. So I've got a ring light, Robert, $20 from Walmart. I've got a tripod with a little aluminum shell spotlight thing I got from Home Depot, and that probably cost $10 and things like that. So kind of play with it. These are, again, this was not a how to make a professional video session. These are things to think about. Think about your lighting, think about your camera position, and you can dive into that as deeply and complicated as you'd like. This was just, well, think about it and explore it elsewhere.
Yep, and I have seen YouTubers setups where same thing. They went to Walmart, they got a silver flood lamp, put a cloth over the top of it.
Yeah.
And they actually had a couple of ladders laying around the house, and they have them clipped to ladders. And so, yeah, this does not have to be pretty. Doesn't have to be professional. It just has to be functional if you're gonna do that.
Yeah. Authentic professionalism, not perfection.
Exactly. So somebody did put yellow light is more flattering. So a softer light rather than a bright daylight. That can be a little bit harsh. So just thoughts on that. Rick, did you use your classroom mic at one time?
No. Yes, today I did not today.
Right.
But when I would make my videos in the spring, yes, I have a little lapel mic, and I would wear that and plug that into the computer because, as Robert said, then I could move around and do things. I didn't think about it. I put my dock camera next to me here in my little room, and I didn't think about me turning away from the computer. I should have worn a lapel mic. But yes, I did have one already, and I did use that in the spring. And
that was just your classroom lapel mic, and then you plugged in a cable that connected that to your computer. Is that right?
Correct. You have to get an adapter because otherwise I have a Mac, and so it did not recognize it as a microphone because it's a TRS and it needs a TRRS or whatever. But yeah. Yes, it's not hard to do. I did use it in the spring. I did not use it today, but I would recommend it.
Yeah. That was just.
I'm messing with more light in here today because I'm in a little tiny closed up room and I don't have any windows at all. If you have a window, that's another great source of light. If it's coming in from the side, if you're in your classroom. So, maybe you already have much of the light you need. I have none in this room.
Right. So if you have questions about lighting or anything else, feel free to shoot an email. If you need assistance, want assistance, and YouTube and
Google.
Thank you. Whatever that thing is that we use. Is not answering your question, or it's a little bit more technified, and you want some assistance, shoot me an email, put in a ticket. Definitely glad to help in any way we can. Rick, this has been extremely helpful. I know from a couple of administrators and a couple of teachers who were planning on being here both for our Kahoot, Nearpod, Flipgrid, and your session, but then they got pulled away because they were told they were going to go to a different training. And
Imagine that.
yeah. So definitely going to be some people watching asynchronously. Again, thank you everyone for hanging tight with us and the little glitch that we ran into. We'll work on not having that glitch again. Stay tuned for more. Wednesday, I'm tentatively putting a Zoom and Meet session together, and then Thursday is the Remind and possibly another one. So stay tuned for some emails, and thank you again, and we'll see you all soon.
You can do it.
Yes, they can.